Jazakumullahu khairan. Before we finalize and conclude the program, I'll request all the brothers and sisters to remain seated for next 5 to 10 minutes. Can I ask Brother Yusuf Chambers to come up here and literally within 3 minutes say what he has to say, please?
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for being patient tonight. I need to remind you and reiterate upon what the scholars have said tonight about giving dawah and supporting dawah, supporting this work. Dawah doesn't just necessarily mean, by the way, going out, putting a table and putting lots of books on top of it and sitting in Smallheath here and waiting for the non-Muslims to come. Dawah can be supporting the people who do that work. It can be putting money in a hat or a bucket. It can be, writing a letter and complaining about, Islamophobia, which we see in this country at the moment, and which we've seen, in fact, in this country for years and years. So, before you leave, you will find some people collecting in a device, a bucket, I don't know what it is, I haven't seen it. And it's to pay for this event. And if, on the face of it, you may see this event as just another event. But there's something quite special about this event. It's quite unique. In fact, we have one organization from India, the IRF. We have one which is based in London and is doing extensive dawah work, the CRC. And we have IPCI, which you all know and love, probably. And we have Muntada al-Islami. So this is 4 organizations. We've heard a lot of questions tonight and comments and observations made by yourselves regarding, people being splintered, scattered in this dawah. We have 4 organizations tonight who said, no, we are going to make ta'awun, we are going to make cooperation, we are going to work together in this deen, and we are going to put this message forward for the whole of the humanity, particularly as we're living in a non-Muslim country. And there are 80–90% of the people in this country, I was one of them 12 years ago, that don't know the first thing about the purpose of life. So this is really what I have to tell you, that if you don't know the purpose of life, then you're going to be misled, and you're going to try and mislead other people. And, as Dr. Zakir Naik has just said, in relation to, the question about somebody inviting, you're going to invite, or you will be invited to. So, in this country, particularly in this time, in this critical time for dawah, the scholars are calling this the critical time for dawah, we need to reach out and support the people who are doing dawah. And if this means IPCI, you support them. If this means IRF? Yeah, got it. You support them. If this means George Bush is giving dawah, you support him, because he's been giving dawah lately. If you don't know, there's 40,000 people who became Muslim since September the 11th in his own country. I happen to know in the last 5 years in the prisons, 5,000 Muslims in the prisons. 1,571 people took Shahada in the last 5 years with no dawah in the prisons. So why is that? Why is that? Is that because you guys got up and told them? Is that because you visited the Muslims in the prisons? Is that because you exhorted one another, another to the righteousness, to patience and truth? Or is it because we just sat down and did nothing? Because this is the reality, brothers and sisters. Right now, we're sitting and we're doing nothing. We're sitting and complaining and moralizing and doing nothing. And then we expect that who's going to pay for this hall tonight, for instance? We just expect that somebody else. Oh, don't worry. There's probably a businessman. He'll pay the bill, 3,000, 4,000, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But I'm telling you that if each and every one of us commands the good, forbids the evil, says that we're Muslims, and is upon the righteous way, and we put 1 or 2 pounds in that bucket tonight, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase it. The barakah will increase, and we will maybe have money to pay for 3 halls or 4 halls or maybe 10 Zakir Naiks, inshallah. So, I don't know if I've said that too forcefully or whether I've said it from my own desires, but I do love this deen. I know it's the only way. I know that communism has failed the world. I know that capitalism has failed the world. And I know Islam is the only way forward. And that is clear. Even the non-Muslims are saying this. If you listened the other day, and you would have seen Yvonne Ridley, or heard her, may Allah help her, on the radio station, defending Islam. Defending Islam. And she's a Muslim, so she can defend Islam. And the non-Muslims were phoning in, defending her. And even Campbell himself, Mr. Campbell, you know, the one who hates Islam, the one, 5 Live. Even he had to admit that women's rights in Islam, as written in the Quran, revealed in the Quran 1400 years ago or more, were incredible. So Islam is needed. We have at the moment Barclays, NatWest considering selling houses via Sharia methods. We have, in every sense of the word, the only way forward now, al-Islam. And we are the foot soldiers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we are not the foot soldiers, who is? Is it the Times? Is it the Sun? Is it Radio 5 Live? Is it Mr. Campbell who hates Islam? He admitted it. Is it James Whale who hates Islam and decries Islam every week? Or is it us? Are we upon the righteous path? Or are they? Do they know Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Or do we? Do we make ittiba' of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Or do they? It's us. It's us. It's us. And it's organizations like this coming together, making ta'awun, making cooperation, is the only way forward. This is how we will destroy the enemies of Islam.